welcome Desi Martini. My name is Sandeep, and right now I have with me Aditi Vasudev. Well, she's about to appear in Kehne Humsafar Season 3. Hello, Aditi, and welcome to the podcast.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you so much. Actually, Aditi, at the very outset, firstly, you have been there in the industry for such a long time. You have been, part of some really, really good films. I
Yes.
mean, but still, I mean, there is barely any mention of you in the media. Why is it so?
I I think I'm just badly behaved like that. I love keeping it that way. So
I see. Yeah, that's that's
yeah.
that's a good way. That's a good way to keep things actually.
I think yeah, I've engineered it a little bit that way, but yeah.
Okay. All right. So Talash. You worked in Talash.
Yes.
You've been a part of Talash, and then there were several other films that you've been a part of.
Yes.
You have been a part of some TV shows as well. I
Mm,
think Meri Awaaz Hi Pehchan Hai was the first TV show that you
that's
debuted in. Right.
absolutely right. Yeah. Yeah. First and
Uh,
only.
yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that you have been there in the industry, and what have your takeaways been from Bollywood and the television industry, for that matter, and what perhaps you look forward to as far as your career is concerned, your life is concerned,
That's a
on a
good
on a
question.
personal and on a professional level.
Okay. So, I mean, I have too many takeaways from Bollywood and TV and web series and ad films and even theater. Like, there's just so much learning. And
Mm.
yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to a lot of changes. Everything is changing. Like, we are truly becoming a nation that almost every third film, almost every second film is a good film. You
Yes.
know? We're coming to a very nice place. We're all evolving very fast, and everybody is becoming better with their stories and everything. Even TV, which I mean, at a time used to be really looked down upon, is changing, and I really want that to happen. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, everything is changing very fast, and I think it's a very exciting time to be in the
Mm.
industry. And as for my personal life, how it affects that. Uh, I don't know. I'm just excited more. There's hope. There's a lot of good stuff happening that you can like really picture yourself doing some wonderful things, in the coming years. So I'm very happy with how everything is in the industry right now. I think we're in a very lovely space.
Right. Right. So you're working with All Balaji belongs to Ekta again. I mean, did you ever have any interaction as far as you and the producers concerned, or in what terms did you? I mean, if at all you had an interaction with Ekta, how was it?
So I done something called Bewafa Siwafa before this with same ALTBalaji Ekta. And so when she had this character, I was actually backpacking in
Hmm.
the hills, and I got these calls, and I'm like, I don't know. They're like, no, you'll need to send a test, but you have to look very beautiful. You'll have to be like in a sari, and I'm like, I'm in the hills.
Hmm.
I'm backpacking. I'm wearing boots. Okay, so I had to fly, and they're like, please, Ekta is insisting because this is a character that's very close to her. So I
Right.
was like, okay, dude, if Ekta's insisting, I have to fly back.
Hmm.
And then we test, and then we had this meeting where we sat down basically, and she explained how important this character was to her because she's been wanting this for a long time. She loves Amira, and I really just picked up from that. And then I don't know, we've been meeting since then. But yeah, she did take that time to sit down and have that conversation with me. This is my favorite character, and this
Hmm.
is how mad she is, and this is how quirky she is, and this is where all her pain is coming from. So, I mean, she really did have to sit down and explain to me because that's how much she loves this
Right.
one,
Right.
Amira.
The other day I was having a conversation with Pooja Banerjee, again, one of your co-stars for the show.
Mhm.
But she kind of told me that Ekta is a lovely actress, and then when she narrates a particular scene to you, it really enlivens the entire scenario in front of your eyes. That's really happy.
Yes. It has, because when she was making this character happen,
Hmm.
so I sat there. We sat there for like there were like 1.5 of there were a bunch of us,
Right.
and somebody started recording the conversation because it's important what she says. It may come back and you can use it for inspiration. So I sat there for 1.5 hours and I'm like getting all this information, and it feels like I'm really understanding the character. Okay, I really get a sense of what she wants, and it was just how she was speaking. Okay, and what she was saying about this character. And when I went on set, and I'm like, I think I'm losing it. Let me try to hear the recording. Okay, so then I tried the recording, and she doesn't give any information. In the
Okay.
words, in the words, I was like, I got so much more from sitting in front of her. you know
Hmm.
I got so
Hmm.
much more from, I like totally understood the character when she was saying the same things in front of me. But now that
Hmm.
I'm hearing a recording, it makes like it doesn't have anything. I can't get anything. So there is something she does which really just takes the ideas from her head and puts them in your head without words, like just with her energy and her vibe. So that's actually a thing. Your sources are correct. Pooja Banerjee is right.
All right, Aditi, you've got to tell me, as an actor, I've had a lot of conversations with many actors and actresses that matter in the industry. And I mean, one question that I keep on asking all of them, especially the ones who have had a theater background and who have a different sort of inclination towards films and, the performing arts is concerned, is what is your, how do you describe yourself as an actor, and how long does it take for you to kind of, get into a scene and then snap out of it? I mean, does it happen almost instantaneously when the director calls a cut, or do you take your time, or perhaps you take your character back home? How does it happen with you? What is the procedure?
Okay. All right. So, okay, so that depends almost always from scene to scene and from
Mm-hmm.
role to role. Like there are some roles that are closer to you that you've already
Yeah.
kind of explored within yourself. Like
Mm-hmm.
Amira, shockingly, was quite easy for me. Even though she's a crazy person, but I was like, she's free. That's the
Mm-hmm.
common thing, and I'm free. So it gets easier. But there are some
Mm-hmm.
roles that are so hard because you haven't been that person and you really have to tatolo yourself inside to find them. So, but with Amira, and some scenes just stay with you. Like even for a scene with Amira, I had to sit
Mm.
in a closet and cry. Okay. And this
You
scene
did.
was
You
such,
actually sat inside a closet and you cried.
and for real. Like I cried for real because the scene is that her mother has said something mean to her, okay, or
Okay.
she knows her mother is saying something, some mean things about her, whatever. But I actually went back into a space where I was like, the director was so good, Abhijit Das, that he's
Mm.
just like, imagine when this has happened in your life. And I went through a scene where I could remember people talking something about me, my friends, and I was literally just crying, and I couldn't stop.
Mm.
And the director and the creative, everybody had to come, just see. Everybody had to just come and sit with me and calm me down. And I'm like, it's a very bad space. But so that those are some rarer scenes. But
Mm.
otherwise, it's TV and like web series is really help you when you're shooting constantly every day for like 70 days. It
Yes.
by the end of it,
Yes.
you get, it's like flexing a muscle. You get easier. It gets easier to go in and go out. You kind of when you're not acting as often, then it gets then it becomes very like, oh, should I use this? Should I also use that? Should I also behave
Mm.
this way? Should I also act that way? Uh,
Right.
so there's a lot of confusion. But when you're acting each day, every day, in and out, then it becomes like, I know what I want. Everything else is not important right now. So it's easier. But yeah, nice question.
Thank you.
Are you having
On
fun?
that, absolutely, absolutely. I always love. I take conversations that are from the heart, and and this is off the record. Most of the conversations that I've had with, I mean, a lot of other artists for that matter, people don't quite really open up as much, and
Okay,
people
what?
do for some strange reason. Yeah, I mean that happens. I mean, for instance, if I ask a particular question that perhaps touches the innermost corners of your soul, I mean, I don't really like the usual questions of okay, how, what is your, how has the lockdown been treating you? What have you been doing in the lockdown? Are you doing? I am not interested in asking those questions. It's ridiculous. I mean, I just don't do it. So it does. It doesn't even. It doesn't come from within,
Right,
and I'm a person who.
it's small talk, and none of these are small talk questions that you've asked.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it's nice.
So Aditi, on that note, you've got to tell me a little bit about your character in Kehne.
Okay, I don't know how much to tell you because spoilers. I think there's a lot we don't know. There's some episodes still to come out on the 1st of July. But I think what the audience has seen till now is that there's this person who's a wild card. Okay, she cannot be predicted, and she definitely has some very, very strong opinions. Like she's very emotional, she's very passionate, she's also very detached, she's a lot of these things. For me, she's like a storm, you know she will wreck your house, but it's not personal. You know what I mean? Like, this is happening to everyone,
Yes, yes, absolutely, yeah.
and her most of all. Now, there's a lot of reasons why she's like this, and I think we'll all find out towards the end. But yeah, I don't know what to tell you, but there's a lot of pain in her, and she expresses that pain in a lot of self-destruction, and
Okay.
uh, yeah, in a lot of self-destructive ways. And she's not out to destroy other people, but if they become collateral damage, it's okay too. She doesn't care.
Mm. Aditi, you have been a part of the web space and television as well, and news as well. Today, when you kind of look back in retrospect for that matter, do you kind of feel that the web space has really come of age, and the kind of content that the web space, the OTT, is really churning out, especially amidst the lockdown when even films are taking the OTT route because obviously theaters are not opening. Do you think the web space has really come of age, and do you think that TV showmakers have actually got to think twice before making the content they're putting out there to kind of retain their audiences that was there prior to the public?
Can I just say something? I think TV has perfected what it is.
Acha.
I feel like TV is, yeah, it would be lovely if we had newer content, fresh ideas in TV, and people didn't have to rely on TRP so much, so there's a bit of freedom.
Yes.
But I feel like at the moment, like, I don't know, I'm just guess. It's just an educated guess almost, but I don't know. I feel like any producer who does TV and OTT content, they get the money from TV. So I feel like TV is making money, and if it's making money, that means it works. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely.
So I feel like, yes, it would be lovely if we removed if we remove some shackles from TV and TV producers and everything, and they're just play, nothing matters. But it would be great if they could play and they could experiment, like OTT, all of this, all these web series are doing now. There are no rules. I do feel web series here have not come of age yet, because we are very much in the first flash of youth.
In the sophomore year.
Yeah, exactly. We are still experimenting. We are seeing what works, what doesn't. A lot of web series also coming out, and not just from us, from like America also has whatever series is. What is 13 Reasons Why? I think it is not a good show. I've never seen it. But I feel like worldwide it is going to take some time to become slightly more mature, slightly more coming of age. But I don't know about TV. That's a very difficult question. In India, I feel like it's not going to change. And I feel like maybe it shouldn't change because it's making everyone money. Some things have TRP. It's like, and people love it because the things that they're getting the views.
Absolutely.
So it's like, should we change what's not broken?
Yeah, absolutely. I get you.
Mm.
Aditi, you have been you have been a part of this show, Kehne Ko Hai Humsafar, for a long time. Now, in the third season,
Hmm.
um, how do you actually determine your character arc, and how would you describe your character arc for that matter? And how has it evolved over time?
Oh my God. Okay. So this is such a good question. And I feel, again, I'm going to just say whatever, but I feel like she has the best character arc of anybody. What a
Okay.
character. I cannot even explain to you, uh, Sandeep. She goes from she goes from a love interest or whatever, just this one night stand, to a love interest, to a psycho, um, to a, just a bad person, the villain, and
Mm.
then there's such a, again, spoilers, but let me just say it. So then you understand, then she is the hero by the end of it. She is
Okay.
the one who,
Okay.
she's the one who brings our protagonists together, and I feel like there's
She's the
such a
one who
growth.
wields the action for them.
I shouldn't say anything. It's spoilers, so I
Okay.
won't.
Okay. All right.
So
Okay.
don't ask interesting questions again.
All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Acha, Aditi,
Yeah.
you've got to tell me, as far as the industry is concerned,
Mm.
you don't really have any background as far as
No.
the Bollywood repertoire is concerned.
No.
How was your journey? Did you kind of feel it's a little difficult? It was a little perhaps um, you know people are trying to pull you down, or how was it? How did you get to this very day?
Okay. I mean, yeah, I don't have any background, and in the beginning, it really wasn't. मेरी छोटी छोटी मांगे भर जाती थी. Like, I got plays and I got
Okay.
actors to support myself, so I didn't feel that Bombay was difficult. I never walked with that. I never carried that weight of Bombay is difficult inside me. But it is
Mm,
difficult, yeah. You have to look back and you have to be like, to be an 18, 19-year-old, to be alone in a
mm.
city trying to work at an industry that is notorious for so many bad things, you know?
Yes.
And to be actually, thank you for making me realize I'm very grateful because I'm still here. You're right. And yeah, it's been great. So yeah, I mean, there were a lot of times. There are some days that are just, some days you're just like, what can I do? Should I quit and should I go home? And
Mm,
why is it like this? Why can things not be easier? But then some days you're like, I'm filled with so much potential that
mm-hmm.
everything will work for me. And honestly, it's a lot about acting, a lot about being a young actor in Bombay, a city like Bombay, is managing yourself. It's
Right,
not
right.
managing your
Absolutely,
career.
absolutely.
You know what I mean? Career will keep happening, roles will come. And I feel like all single people, writers, young directors, young whatever, like, you have to manage yourself first, and that has to be your priority, and everything else must be falling into place after that. Everything will happen as long as you've got yourself under control, and it is a full-time job. So
Absolutely.
I bet you
All
felt
right.
like that also.
Aditi, before I let you go, you've got to tell me, I mean, what exactly are you looking forward to? I mean, what are the projects that you have to look forward to, or perhaps how do you actually cull out uh, your pathway from, I mean, after Keneko Hams?
Okay, so I have some things that are coming out. They're mostly American films, American
Hmm.
short films, which we are using as calling cards to get web series. So I'm very
Okay.
excited by those. Some of them are just, actually, they're all very close to my heart. And if ever we sit down in person, I can show you some of them. That'll
Sure,
be great.
sure. That'll be really great.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I love them. I'm not even joking. And also, yeah, post kehne ko is I'll go back to my no media life. I'll just be
Oh, come
like,
on now. Come on. I mean, you're an actor, and some amount of publicity is always good.
I
I
know,
mean,
I have to.
everybody just, it's just over the top with everyone else. I I feel some amount of coming in front of the camera and interview. I mean, sitting for interviews and all of that is a little necessary. A little bit of PR for that.
Okay, Sandy, you help me. I'm like, I'm gonna be shut in, and you'll have to pry open the and
Oh,
get me.
all right. Okay. I just don't have anything to say. I mean, seriously. All right. Okay, Aditi, it was lovely talking to you. It was a heart of hearts conversation for that matter, and I kind of digged every part of it. Thank you
Thank
so much for being a part of this lovely conversation, Aditi. My name is Sandeep with Desi Mart.
thank you, Sandy.
Bye,
Bye.
Aditi.
This
Bye.
was
It
a
was
really,
lovely,
really
lovely
fun.
talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, surely.
Bye. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much. Bye bye.